Hello, Randy Rain here, and this time I've got a big one. Yeah, this is a big one, alright. This guy is RAD, and this is...
Randy's Robot Refurbished!
That's right, this is the RAD 2.0 robot from 1999, made by Toymax. This was given to me by some friends of mine, and it has a few issues, but it still works for the most part. It needs to be cleaned up and brightened up, and a little bit with the tracking, and a lot of work here. So let's get started. Let's dive into this guy. First thing I'm going to do is take out these, looks like at least 10 screws here. So here's the two gearboxes for the tracks. They both work, just one runs a little slower than the other one. I can't even really remember which one it is. But I'm just going to take them both apart and make them work as good as they possibly can. We'll start with this one. Well, there's what it looks like inside there. So you have different speeds on this one. This one has two different speeds, and that's why there is this gear system right here. So you have a motor that's much smaller than I would have imagined, but it turns this bigger one, and then this one has a gear here. This gear turns this one, or when this thing is flipped underneath here, the switch, it moves this over, so this gear turns this big one here. Or you can flip it back to that way. Either way, it continues from this main gear, turns this one, even goes down again till you have a smaller one, down to the one that actually drives the belt. Now, I've had this gear on this motor right here fall off before, and so it's sliding maybe in there. Maybe what's causing one to be slower than the other one, or something like that. And that's the gear that I've been replacing, so I'm going to take that off. It's actually on there pretty good, but I can see that it is cracked. You can see right there. But I have those gears. Need to make sure there's no grease on this thing. Go ahead and have a look here. I don't see a crack on this one, but I'm going to go ahead and replace it. I'm going to go ahead and desolder these wires here to separate the units. They should be pretty easy to remember: brown to brown, blue to blue, red to red, blue to blue. But since there's two blues, and they're probably the same thing, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to make a mark here. I'm going to make a black mark on this one, so I know that that one goes there. Hard to see, but it's there. All of these seem to be press fit in there, except for this last one. It has a screw. At least the belts are in good shape. I'm going to start with these screws here to get this piece off. Those can stay together. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Aha. That pulls out. If you do the other side, yeah, you have to pull this piece out. It has like a hex head in there. And then you can slide this rod out. Now you can get these gears out. And that's probably as far as I'm going to go down to. Because I'm going to go ahead and take these 4 screws off here because I think that's all that's holding this piece to the main body. It has these tabs on either side that will have to be pushed in. And I'm going to take these off as well. I marked which is negative and positive, because this goes to the power switch. I'm also going to tie these together so I don't confuse that red one with the other red one. Okay, well, it looks like I need to take all these screws out. Yeah. We are apart. Let me see about getting this piece off. This looks like a good place to go next. There's a spring down here that I have to get out next. That allows me to take this off. Okay, watch taking this thing off. If 2 pieces of plastic with a spring in there that's held in there. If I pulled that, it's going to go flying. There's another one here that did go flying. I go in there like this. And it seems as though the other one's going to be in there like this. And it goes in there like that. Why it does that, I don't know. But yeah, be careful taking that thing off of there. Go ahead and take this off. Alright, I'm going to try to get the front piece off. So I need to get this motor that activates the shooting part. Need to get it off. Let's take these lights out. We're down to the head and the arms section here, so I'm going to try to separate them now. This motor can come off. Oh well, let's open it up. Well, here's the arm gears. And that gear just sits on this pin. That gear has another one of those springy things in there. Careful with that. Okay, this is kind of complicated. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but there's this piece that has some inner gears inside here. And then this piece with some gears, and it has this little tab. You can see where the tab fits in. As we take this off, we have this little system here, which has another gear in inner gears with this other little piece here that's has this little arm on it, and another gear here that I may regret doing this, but I think I want to take this gear off. Just so I can take this motor out. Okay, down to the head. Looks like all the electronics are inside of this thing. Here it comes. Okay, there's 2 screws here for the circuit board. And there's the brain. So we got some LEDs that looks like they can pop out like that. More screws holding in these lights up here. The antenna in here. Get rid of these things. Well, this is as far as I can get down to everything without really having to desolder wires, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to leave this piece just where it is. I've got it down to that. Okay, I've gotten closer to breaking the old thing down. This is the firing mechanism here. I'm going to take these off. So that comes out. This little piece here is just, as it turns, it pushes these things in to release the missiles. I'm just leaving it on there. Before I get to retrobriting, I'm going to try to get rid of some of these scuffs with one of these abrasive sponges. That seems to be working pretty good. Alright, I'm going to try the hairdryer method on getting these decals off. Okay, trying my method, camp fuel. I'll make new ones if I decide to replace them. There. Whew. Those were the hardest decals I've ever had to get off, but I finally got them all off. I've been dreading to get down to the arms because of how many screws there are in these things. Today is going to be a nice sunny day. And on a day like this in Robot Land, we retrobrite. And to do that, we go to the local beauty supply and we buy the highest number volume of cream developer that we can get. Then we get some gloves, lay our piece down, start covering the piece with just a paint chip brush. Put a nice good coat on there. Then you want to use some cling wrap and coat it as well. This is what I learned from the 8-bit guy. Wrap that up. And that's ready to go in the sun. And you want to put this on really thick. Almost forgot the remote control. This thing needs it more than anything does. These are glued in, and that's definitely glued in, so I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to mask these things off. I don't think it would do anything to it anyway, but just in case, you can see where the sticker was. So how to protect it now that it's white? Well, how about a protectant? This supposedly protects against UV. There's other brands that do the same thing. That's what I'm going with. How great these remote control pieces look is just amazing. That's like brand new. Okay, time to put this all back together. I've cleaned it all up. I've got brand new grease. There should be some grease inside this one. Okay, go ahead and put some grease on this side as well. Okay, and then these things go on here. This one will go on this side. And now these pieces go on. They get the grease treatment as well. Now we screw them in. Okay, time to put the speed control back together. So slow is going to be like that. So now let's put the gears back. Some grease goes on the speed control here and here. All these little pins I'm going to give a sanding down with some fine sandpaper. I want it to be able to spin. I will put some grease on there. Go ahead and put some grease on the gears. I have to make sure this part is in this section so that it can move, which I'm going to go ahead and put it this way. I checked out the motors, they're fine. I don't have to worry about those. Now I can put these back. Alright, it's time to get these treads back on there. Let's put some arms back together. Okay, time to put this remote back together. Okay, I think soldering back the microphone will be the first step. So the gray wire goes here. the white wire goes next to it. And put these buttons back in place. Now these can go into place. And this gets put here. And then these screws go through all of this. So these little buttons go around like that and then slide in like so. And then these are going to go on top. So now I need to fish this 9-volt battery plug through here and solder it to this switch. Positive goes to the switch part of the switch. And the negative joins the negative wire. And on is going to be there, so it's going to go in like that. This wrapped around here for safety. Let's see, maybe these should stick on like that. Easier to get this together if they just stuck on like that. And then I can screws back. And I'll go ahead and put the battery door back on right now. There. Look how clean and nice that looks. Now it's time to get this head back together. I'm going to put the antenna through, glue it back into place. I am just going to use hot glue. Next are the eye lights. They go through here. So now these pieces go in here. These pieces go in here. And screw this into place. And the circuit board goes in. And this piece, I think, goes like this. Now I can put this back on. I'm going to put this accessory plug back. It has this little door that slides up and down. This goes in like that, and then this piece sits on top. Now to get this missile shooter back together, next thing to do would take this piece and put the springs on here. And these get put in like this. So I need to put these pieces in. These pieces release the missiles. And that goes like that. And this piece gets slid over this. That goes like that. This piece goes on the outside. This gets sandwiched in. And then the screws. That's how that works. Next, this piece goes in. It pivots here on this piece. That gray gear goes up against that gear. And then there's a little spring down here that's going to get attached. Probably be easier just to go ahead and put that spring into place first. And then bring this into place. It takes this big screw with the added washer. Alright, to get these lights back in, they just pop into place, and 4 screws. I'm also going to go ahead and put this spring into place while I can. It goes there, has this little plastic piece that fits over top, and then one of these screws with the built-in washer goes. Now it's time for the arms. This motor goes back to here. This little piece fits on like so. Another one of these screws with the built-in washer on them goes right here. This gear gets placed here onto that, like so. So here's where it gets complicated, and I have to admit I've never seen anything like this before. This pin does not go there, but I'm going to put it there to show you what's going on. This gear connects to the motor, and as this motor spins, it spins that gear. But if you look at this hub right here, this little hub that goes around the shaft, it is offset. It is not centered. So it wobbles as this spins. And then this piece goes on top. And it has this arm that sticks out. And there's a little bit of grease here, so it's there. And it won't turn. It gets locked into place. But as that motor spins, watch what happens. It causes this thing to wobble. So you can see here, watch this thing wobble. So as that spins and that thing wobbles, another piece gets put on top. And these have big fat gears on there, and on the inside there's big fat gears as well. And it gets put on top like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little dot right here so that you can see. And watch what happens. As this motor spins, that thing underneath there wobbles back and forth. You can see that it causes that top piece to actually rotate. So it's like a little ratcheting system. It's turning into circular movement to oscillating movement, or reciprocating movement now. And now when this piece gets put back on top, the reciprocating movement gets turned back into circular movement. But there's another hub around here that is also offset. And then this big giant gear sets in there like so. And it has another big gear like this that sets there like that. And I can't get to the motor to turn it right now. But the same thing happens. Now this circular motion turns back into reciprocating motion, and then that reciprocating motion turns back into circular motion. I'm not really sure why they did it like this. My guess is for strength, that this ratcheting system allows those arms to really hold there. It's either that or to keep it from breaking. I don't really know. But that's not the right pin. That pin actually goes right there. So this piece has to go on, and then this piece goes on top of that, and then this piece goes on top of that. And then you have this big gear, which another one of these things inside here. It's only being held by these 2 little spring action pieces here. It gets put down through all that, like so. Okay, I'm going to undo at least one of these just to protect the electronics. This motor, I'm going to put 6 volts onto this motor, and let's see what happens. Yep, that seems to work. Alright, well that works. So it goes like this. And then this piece goes here. Alright, now this is the motor that does the waste, and it has that same type of thing. This one likes to explode on you when you take it apart, so gotta be careful here. Okay, because it has this craziness in there. Same type of thing, ratcheting system going on. Okay, I'm going to hook some voltage up to this one. You can see how this goes. I've got to get this onto that spring down there. Move those wires out of the way. Yep. So get out of the way. That's going to go there. Now I have to take all of this and feed it through and make it come out down here. Better go ahead and put the wires through here. And then this bottom gets snapped in to place. And then there's 4 screws that hold it in place. Okay, time to solder these wires back. Okay, now it's time to put this switch and the battery contacts back. It goes like that. And these screws go here. Oops. Positive goes to here. And negative goes to there. This goes like this. Now the screws for the bottom. Well, there you have it, the RAD robot 2.0, which I'm calling 2.1 now. I'm going to divide this up into 2 episodes because I have a lot more to do with this one. I'm going to figure out how to recreate these missiles that shoot out of there. I'm going to show you how to make your own batteries for this thing. And I'm going to recreate the stickers, and then I'm going to take it out and have some fun with it. But let's see how it goes. First of all, let's turn it on. This thing's very noisy.
Checking systems, wait down.
It goes through these systems, which I hate. But you can stop it. You can stop it by pushing any of the buttons here. You can also turn that off, the sound off. Don't remember which, it's shift. Maybe? No. Shift. Shift. That turns the lights off. That turns them on. There it is. Okay, so there. Now they're turned off. But the fire works still. The arms open and close. So the ratcheting system in there doesn't matter how you put it together. So there's no timing on it whatsoever. It does turn. And waist up and down. And the voice, let's see, the voice is, where's the toggle? See, it works. Test, test, test. So yeah, that works too. I'm going to turn this noisy thing off. So there you have it, the RAD 2.1. Stay tuned for the next episode, and that was...
Randy's Robot Refurbished!